Most people think that money comes down to only tactics, only strategy, work ethic, that sort of thing. But frequency and vibration and energy is a massive piece of it. And it's the frequency of you and also the frequency of your clients and the frequency that they're trying to achieve, because everything runs on human emotion. So really what this is a human behavior chart that we're going to go through, and I'm going to show you how to use vibration, frequency, energy to extract maximum profit out of your market so you can reach the goals that you want to reach. Now, first thing that I'm going to go over, okay, and we're going to keep this very brief because it is a very simple concept. I don't want to overcomplicate it, okay? I'm going to just X out these top layers up here because you, in the sense of trying to make profit, you are not trying to become Jesus. You're not trying to be Buddha. You're not trying to be a monk, okay? And up here, you sort of stop existing in the material world. Like, you stop caring about money. You stop caring about success. This is a different level of consciousness. I mean, it's great to go to that level, but if you tap into, you're not going to care about these worldly desires that we're talking about, which currently are profit and money and that sort of thing. This is a later transcendence that you can do at a higher level, okay? Now, if you're an expert at what you do and you have full clarity on who you are, you operate typically with reason, okay? Understanding, meaningfulness, you're wise, okay? You can think in abstract concepts. Now, to a lot of people, this is referred to as high IQ, okay? In my opinion, this is what many people might call retard maxing, okay? This is like a trend that's going on the internet. People say, just retard max. This is what actual retard maxing looks like, where you show up, you say, okay, what do I need to do to get to my goal? For me right now, what am I doing to get to my goal? I'm recording a video. I show up, I make a video about a concept that I know a lot about. I send it to the editors, done. That's retard maxing. Cool, easy. I'm functioning with reason, logic, and understanding. That is where you need to be if you're teaching something to somebody or if someone's paying you for something. They want to think that you're here because they also want to be there. The reality is, though, they're in one of these boxes between orange and yellow, okay? They're between fear, desire, anger, pride, and courage, and they want to transcend to the level that you're at. This doesn't matter if it's a service, it could be a physical product, it could be a digital product, it could be, you could be a musician, you could be an artist, and your music promises to transcend that person to a place where they feel absolute bliss when they listen to it, okay? That is what is happening. So anybody that buys your thing, they're usually not in this green or blue range here. And they're probably even not in this range down here. We'll talk about what this is in a second. They're usually in this emotional range. And we need to tap into that to bring them up to our range. Now, everybody functions a little bit differently, okay? Some of us function, maxed out with fitness. We function up here at the reason level. Some of us with food function up there, relationships, spirituality, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Some of us, maybe with spirituality, we're here, okay? But with fitness, we're up here. We just get it. We go into the gym, we retard max in the gym, very simple. But with maybe investments, we're idiots. We spend all of our money. What that would be is an actual retard, okay? If you're an idiot and you spend all of your money, you make millions and millions of dollars, you spend all of it on, let's just say, dumb whatever shit. You're buying handbags and you're gambling it away and you become addicted to substances and that sort of thing. That is being an actual retard, okay? So that's the difference between retard maxing and actual retard. Retard maxing is actually very high IQ thinking. You become so high IQ, you have so much logic and so much reason that you're just like, I'll do this. An actual retard is like you're killing people in the street, you're mugging people for money, you're gambling all the millions of dollars that you made away. You don't want to do this. And I'll also say that most of these people down here are not buyers. These are the people that are going to like therapists and for drug treatment, and insurance companies are paying for their treatment and that sort of thing. Right? These people function in a world that, again, almost doesn't exist. Kind of like the high level, it almost doesn't exist, okay? Because for the people that you and I are gonna sell to, on average, I mean, maybe there's a couple of people down here you can sell to, maybe there's some people in here, maybe there's some people in here, you get the idea. But like, for the most part, The buyers are in this range right here. I'll walk through that in a second. Now, you get the idea. Some of us, again, just to finish this point, some of us are at, the 400, 500 level with full reason with money in business, okay? But there's also plenty of people that have a lot of fear when it comes to money in business, okay? A lot of desire, a lot of anger, okay? A lot of pride, a lot of courage. Those are the people that you can actually sell to. Now, when we're selling to these people, we need to identify and understand these emotions, okay? So they are negative emotions, and it does suck sometimes that we have to tap into this negative polarity, right? Because I like to think positively as much as possible, but we have to tap into this negative polarity to sell sometimes. So like fear, for example, if you're watching the news, what is the news selling you? They're selling you on the fact that the virus is gonna come and get everybody, or there's all these bad people in our country and we gotta get them out. And maybe sometimes that's true. Like that probably is true. There's probably some bad people, some illegal people in our country that we have to get out. However, when it comes to marketing, fear could be the big corporate food companies are killing you, right? Like that would be with poison. That would be an angle that I take if I am selling clean and natural organic foods and products similar to that. Okay, that'd be an angle I take. I'm tapping into the fear, the emotional aspect of the selling point, which is the other people are killing you with their poisonous products. Very simple. The desire. What's the desire? You will be, we'll just keep going with the organic angle. You will be healthier if you use our products. Eliminate brain fog, fatigue, etc. The desire is also the dream outcome. Okay, so we talk about the dream outcome a lot. Marketers talk about it a lot. This is really your dream outcome here. Okay, people desire to have whatever the dream outcome is. If you're watching this, you probably want to make more money on the internet marketing, social media, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff. If you're buying a health food organic product, you probably want to be healthier, have less brain fog, have less fatigue, etc. Okay? So you're always selling to that dream outcome. You're also always selling to these pains. One of these pains is the fear. Another pain is anger. And that is I've tried everything. And it doesn't work. I hope this is the one. Why would this be the one? This is where you get a lot of skepticism, okay? Why is this the thing that's going to work? Why is this the thing that's going to change my life? Why is this the thing that's going to get me to this dream outcome when everything else that I've tried hasn't gotten me to the dream outcome? Why? And that's the question you need to answer in your marketing. There's also pride, there's also courage, and this is where people really start to take action and believe that they can get the result. That's all this is right here with pride and courage. So I'm not going to go too deep into these, but this is where they flip from this is really frustrating, I'm scared, I desire all these things, I'm not sure how to get there, to I think I can get there. And this is also where you start to lose buyers because people start to flip into this mode of like, I'll just do it on my own. I can do it on my own. And then they usually have to get pushed back into anger and frustration when they try it on their own and they fail. And that's when they search for a solution like yours and they come to you and they pay you easily. Those are the easiest sales. When someone is so frustrated, so angry, because they've had the courage to try. They've had the pride, they think they can do it on their own, and maybe they can, but it just becomes too hard and they get frustrated. That's when they come to you and they purchase. Okay? So we need to tap into those emotions as much as possible. Yes, they're negative, but they create the most buyers. Anger, desire, and fear. Think about the woman that is buying all the handbags all day. Think about the woman that is going to Target and shopping for her family all day and desiring all the clothes and little things and trinkets and gadgets that she might find there, right? Think of also the woman or the man that's going to the grocery store and buying the best food for their family. They want their family to be healthy. They desire health, okay? Every action and purchase is made out of fear, desire, or anger, and sometimes the other ones, but I would say about 90% are made out of those three. And if you can tap into those for your product, that is where you start to win, you start to profit crazy numbers. I'll also say, when it comes to what we do on social media, we tie everything into the emotions, the pains, the problems, and the desires. Everything lines up with that. So the first thing we do is we identify an avatar. And once we've identified the avatar, and the avatar equals specific person that we are trying to reach, and that is, their age, where they live, what they do for work, what their income is, and maybe roughly the pains, problems that they have, okay? Then we do the emotions. And the emotions are the pains, problems, okay? The angers, the desires, the fears, okay? From there, we do the topics, okay? So what actual topics, content ideas, tie into the pains and desires, okay? And then we just make all of our content, all of our ads, and all of our promotion, all of our landing pages, all of our offer pitches, our dream outcomes around this, okay? Around this. So all the topics stem from the emotions. So we identify the emotional place that people are at, how it ties into our product, how it ties into our brand, and then we make all of our content and advertising around it so it directly hits the pains, problems, and desires, the 90% pool of emotions that people are buying based on. That is all that we have to do. And if we do that and we tap into this frequency and we bring people, I'm gonna just erase all this stuff real quick because it's a little bit crazy. But if we tap into these frequencies here and we pull people up here, because the dream outcome promise is that they're gonna be up here. They're gonna live at a higher frequency, a higher level. They're gonna have the dream outcome. If we just do that with whatever we're selling, doesn't matter what we're selling, as long as we do that, we're going to be rich beyond our wildest dreams. You and me both. And that's what I've been doing for many years to make millions of dollars of sales on the internet. This is the exact strategy that we implement for our clients. I have two things below for you guys. One, I have a free playbook that details how to do this way more in depth called the Propaganda Playbook. You can grab it in the description below. And if you want my help doing stuff like this for your brand and all the other pieces that result in millions of dollars of sales, you can apply below for my help with me and my team. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to subscribe. Have a good one.